Fun question. No, I am not a magazine junkie, and these days not even a book junkie. I do admit though about the magazine thing. It's kind of funny because I remember in my 20s my roommate buying People magazine, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? Why? What a waste of money. Why would you read that stuff?" And then later on in life, I think it was like my twin sister's husband, and then there would be sort of a People magazine around, and then I'd start picking it up and reading them. And so I admit that now every so often I'll pick up, a People or an Us or whatever when there's some celebrity on it that I'm interested in, and I will kind of have that for light reading, flipping through sometimes. I tend to think it's a little bit maybe that I would give into that kind of thing now. As being a mom, we're kind of a little bit bored in a way, we don't have all that more exciting gossip that we had in our young years. I mean, not bad gossip, but like when you're in your I found when I was in my teens, in my early 20s, I had a lot of stuff going on with all my friends, and there was a lot of, oh hey, this is going on and that, and there was kind of a lot of excitement and drama in our own personal lives. But now it's all just a little bit boring, and there's not all that much drama, except I guess maybe in the blogosphere there's drama, but I avoid that kind of drama. And so sometimes it's kind of like, oh well, it's kind of interesting to flip through and be like, oh, so what's happening with them, kind of replaces the chatting on the phone with your girlfriends, be like, oh, what's happening here and what's happening there, and kind of swapping all those stories. I do like magazines, but I don't like spending money on them. So I would love to have a stack of them, and I guess if I got admitted that I wanted them and had subscriptions, then they're not as expensive. But I think maybe I might have had some subscriptions a couple of times in my life, but generally no. And books, oh, I love books. I just don't ever have time to read, like just my own types of novels or anything like that anymore. Being a mom and obviously being a blogger and a work-at-home mom, I just don't have enough time to read novels that that kind of thing I would enjoy. But I went through before I had kids, my husband and I, we used to love to just go to Chapters. We'd go to, like, on the weekend nights, we lived right near the movie theaters and a big Chapters store. We'd go to a movie and then browse through the Chapters and buy books. And, oh, I would just love to read, and I'd love to own the books. It was just something extra special for me about owning them. And, yeah, so I really loved it. But I had to curb that book buying because it can get expensive, too. And so I always have to try to tell myself that there is a library, and it's good for that type of thing. And I'm trying to get my kids, I buy a lot of books for my kids too, but we're really getting more into a library routine where we're going every week and getting a dozen new library books for them to read every week, so that I'm not buying all of the books that I want to buy for them. But if I had my way and I had all the time in the world, I would just lay around and read novels all the time. Except for when I was blogging. I always want to blog too.